She had to rush home.
WandaVision, 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 WandaVision. Yeah, I definitely like that theme song. Hey fellow Force users and fellow superheroes, what is up? It's Ahsoka Tano fan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So another episode of WandaVision dropped and I'm looking at my Disney Plus screen and I'm noticing that all the episodes have titles now, which is interesting because one of the things I mentioned in my previous videos was that they hadn't given us any episode titles. They only had episode 1 and 2 written down, so that kind of left a lot of mystery behind what the episodes were actually about. And then now I'm seeing they all have titles, so I feel like I wonder if they're doing that on purpose to kind of slowly reveal a little bit more about the series as each week passes. So that's pretty cool. If you checked out my previous video, you'll know that I've been doing a lot of speculation and just kind of pointing out some things that I noticed the second time around. So much speculation and so many theories going around. So be sure to check out that video where I talked about a few of those theories, including a possible Infinity War connection. Going into this episode, I see that the title is called Now in Color. So it looks like they might be moving forward in time again. And it looks like the episode is, as the title suggests, in color. So, and I wonder if we'll see the characters change or potentially new characters introduced. And maybe we'll see characters pop up again like Mr. Hart, who so far we've only seen in the first episode, which is kind of strange because we saw his wife in the second episode, but we didn't see him anywhere. I could sit here and speculate for hours. But yeah, let's get into it and see what's in store for us. I wonder if the WandaVision intro will be different this episode. Because the last one was from a different era, so if we're moving forward now, we'll see Marvel Studios is in color. Yes, see, I was right, I knew it. So they're gonna have a different intro each episode. This is very, like, 70s. So I guess she's expecting twins. 2 swings. Oh, they're so cute. Again, the house is totally different.
Suddenly, wasn't it? I mean, practically overnight. I mean, how did this happen? You see,
I wonder what role the Doctor will play. Unless he's Mephisto. What's he doing? Oh, she's growing fast.
Oh, did I do that? I didn't mean to.
Oh, look, darling. Hello, little fella. Boy, I thought I had super speed. I can't. Well, we ought to decide soon. Start the clock.
Baby's wearing red. He found that fast. She's gonna deliver like right now, isn't she? Okay, I'm confused. What the fuck is going on? Did Wanda do that?
Phil,
Daddy.
do these earrings make me look fat?
Oh, thank God.
Always on the verge of discovering our secret.
I know what you mean. Something's wrong here, Wanda.
They're breaking the reality again.
Yes, I know what you mean.
She just deleted that. Run it.
In uncharted waters.
Wow, she just got rid of that because she doesn't want to face the fact that the reality is not real.
Human.
What?
synthesoid.
But she loves him, so she didn't hurt him like she did the others, like Mr. Hart and Dottie.
I thought you said Friday afternoon.
I didn't consider that the timings between developmental benchmarks could be quite...
Oh, Vision's doing it too. Oh my god. Is that her water breaking?
Yes.
Yes, dear?
My water just broke.
Yes, dear.
Oh man. One thing I noticed too is when Herb was cutting the wall, that was almost symbolizing the walls breaking down around them, like the outside world threatening to collapse on Wanda's alternate reality.
You read my mind.
Come with me. Hydra Soak.
Hydra again.
Find the goddess within.
When you want to get away but you don't want to go anywhere, it's related to Wanda for sure.
Oh. Oh, what a mess.
Oh,
Did the house just change again?
A time like this?
Well, in fairness, darling, the baby is approximately 9 months early. Better leg it.
Oh shit. Is she gonna find something else? She's wearing blue.
You have to let me borrow it sometime. But first, I gotta borrow a bucket. Not to wear, to use.
Her necklace.
All the pipes in my ceiling burst at once, and I gotta bail myself out.
All right, sure. I think I might have a bucket in the kitchen.
Okay, then.
That's the sword symbol, isn't it?
Under the
Look at that. What? Fruit. Wanda.
Hmm.
Ew.
She's wearing the sword symbol. Fruit seems to be symbolic in this.
Oh, say.
Oh?
Yeah, those. So, it's 10 minutes before the big presentation. And Mr. Haddix accept the worst case of hiccups.
She can't make it disappear. Just like she can't hide from the real world forever.
Trying every
It does not want to go away.
Oh, yes, that's what Mr. Haddix said.
Oh, a stork. Yes, I can explain. No.
The crib.
It's the doctor.
Waits in my car, decides to poop out right at this moment. So long as we hurry.
Okay, she's gonna find out pretty soon
I may be late to the party.
that Wanda's a witch.
You can do this. Yes, you can. You can do this. Ready, you're ready.
Hmm.
Push.
I feel like when she says I can't do this, she means multiple things. Big baby. But she looks kind of big for just one baby. I feel like she must have twins.
Kitchen there. Oh, don't you want to meet your son as your son?
Aww. He's got blue eyes. Aww. There's another one.
All in a day's work. And thank you for your assistance, young lady.
Assistant, she delivered the whole baby.
Have what it takes.
What's the significance of blue, guys?
I do owe you a debt of...
So hard to escape.
What was he talking about? Wanda won't let him? Wanda caused his car to break down? Because she doesn't want people to leave her reality? That looks like wallpaper, that background.
Did you lose power too?
Doesn't it?
Oh, sure did. But Ralph looks better in the dark, so I'm not complaining.
I hope. Wait,
That background is not real. It's wallpaper. Legit.
well, I'll go back to Wanda.
Do you guys notice that? We're gonna find out who Geraldine is. What song is she singing there? Geraldine looks scared of her now.
He was killed by Ultron.
Oh, she went there.
What did you say about Pietro?
Mm-mm.
Pietro?
She just turned bad now.
What do you mean she has no home?
This necklace, right?
She came here because she came here because we're all. She came here because we're all what? What are you trying to tell me? She came here because we're all.
She doesn't look like she's gonna kill her. What does her necklace say? Ooh, that background is legit fake, bro. That is not a real background.
Wanda?
Oh, she left, honey.
She had to rush home.
Did she send her somewhere? Look at all those symbols. Westview. The helicopter. But they don't look like they want to help her. They look like... There's an energy field. So Wanda took control of that town then. Whoa, so she literally is holding that town hostage. Because they showed us Westview. I just noticed I haven't been paying attention to the credits. I don't even know if it's changed subtly between each episode. Whoa. That's crazy. Okay, so there's obviously a lot to go through there, especially that end scene. But let's start from the beginning first. So as always, I have notes typed out here. This episode felt like a huge leap, actually, to be honest. Episode 1 and 2 almost seem kind of paired together, and episode 3 seems like almost a different show. I wouldn't be surprised if episode 4 kind of would feel paired with episode 3 the way that episode 2 kind of feels paired with episode 1. We have, I think, many clues in this episode that Wanda's reality, or whatever this is breaking down around her. The first clue I noticed was when the neighbor, Herb, was cutting through the brick wall, quite literally, and Vision had told him to go easy with it, and then he just continued cutting. And that literally means that there's like a crack in the wall, a crack in the foundation, a crack in this reality. And then you have the whole scene with the flamingo that Wanda is unable to snap out of existence. And is that just a clue that whatever she's doing is finally catching up with her and she can't hide from the real world for long? We know the doctor wasn't able to go on vacation. It looks like his car broke down, and that happened during the whole Wanda pregnancy. And the way that he said small towns are hard to escape, that obviously had a dual meaning, right? Wanda really seems to be in a position now where she's in control and not letting these people escape. And even when she mentions her brother, Pietro, who is, as we know, Quicksilver, who died in the movies, it's not like she's forgotten who she is. She knows who she is. So that scene there kind of showed me that she is the one who's in control here, or as Agnes said last episode, the star of the show, right? That's really what Wanda seems to be, the star of the show. We didn't see Mr. Hart in this episode either, which is very suspicious. And given, we're going to talk about this more toward the end, but given what happened with Monica Rambeau, how she cast her out of this town, this reality, I wonder if she did the same thing with Mr. Hart and instead brought in the doctor, who we see tend to Wanda during her pregnancy. Because it's very odd that we haven't seen him all this time, and we didn't see the wife in this episode either. We did see Dottie and her husband, so I guess these are just people that Wanda has decided to keep in her reality, and others who question too much, she casts out. We see Vision start to question if something could be wrong, and then Wanda literally erases that reality. With Vision, it's interesting though, because he challenges her, but she doesn't hurt him like she does Dottie and Mr. Hart, and in this episode, Monica. And I think that's because she loves him and cares for him the most, and I think she's obviously basing this whole reality around him, right? So he seems to be the one person that she's not willing to hurt. Even with the whole beekeeper scene from last episode, it may appear to be the beekeeper she said no to, but she almost was kind of saying no to Vision too, because Vision was asking her, what is that? What's going on? And then she just said no. So it was kind of, in a sense, Vision was questioning his surroundings during that moment too, and Wanda rewound time. He does it again this episode, and then she rewinds time again. So whenever it comes to Vision, it seems Wanda just rewinds time. And what is so crazy to me is when you look at those scenes where Vision is talking to Agnes and Herb, the neighbor, the background literally looks like wallpaper. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, and I mentioned it multiple times throughout my reaction. You can tell it doesn't look real, and you don't even see Herb go into his home and come back out. I really wonder what that is all about. Agnes kind of seemed to take a little bit of a back seat here. She wasn't as prominent in her role as she was in episode 1 or 2, but she did plant some seeds of doubt. You kind of see her gossiping with Herb, and they're asking what Geraldine's role is. You know, she has no home, she has no this. It's funny that they would do that because everything about this town and this reality is suspicious and mysterious. Like, people don't really seem to necessarily be from there, or if they are from there, then they're at least like in some part aware that things are not as they seem and what's happening is not really supposed to be happening, and that they're all part of Wanda's world or Wanda's vision, right? I just kind of wonder what the point of that was. I wonder if they were trying to get her thrown out by Wanda, get her in trouble from Wanda. Which brings me to the next part, which was Geraldine. So we see her have the sword symbol seen in the helicopter back in episode 2, as well as on the beekeeper's uniform. Was she sent there by S.W.O.R.D to try and stop Wanda, or was she there to bring harm to Wanda? Was she there to try and make Wanda have children? We're not really sure, but we definitely know that she seems to be in some capacity linked to S.W.O.R.D. But I find it very interesting that when she's thrown out at the end there, they all approach her with guns. I kind of wonder what that's about, because if she was with them, wouldn't they be trying to help her? This was the first episode we had where we didn't see the screen kind of zoom out again like it did in the previous 2 episodes, and we didn't see anybody watching them on TV like what was shown in episode 1. So maybe what this means is we were initially led to believe that she was being controlled by these people, but in fact maybe she is the one in control, and they were monitoring her to see if she was any closer to being brought back to reality.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
And it's interesting too, because if you think back to episode 1, at the very end, Vision had the remote and he clicked a button. And so I'm beginning to wonder, is it possible that he was sending some sort of signal or something to whoever's on the outside, who's probably S.W.O.R.D. And then that would raise another question. Is it possible that Vision is still alive and is in there trying to bring Wanda back to reality somehow? I mean, it's kind of a reach, because he was pretty much dead at the end of Infinity War. But if Vision isn't dead, a theory I've seen is that maybe this might be one big coping mechanism of her dealing with his death, and maybe she quite literally took his body and is using his body to somehow do this, which would kind of be, you know, creepy and dark, but it's definitely a possibility. We had the Hydra bath commercial again, which was another Easter egg, and they said something along the lines of you want to get away without going anywhere. And I think that was definitely a direct nod to Wanda, because she's basically creating this alternate reality or mindset so that she can have more time with Vision. So she's mentally escaping her reality, and her reality is that Vision is likely dead and she no longer has that time with him that she wanted. And it's very significant that she mentions Pietro, who we know as Quicksilver, because that just shows me that she knows who she is. She's not in a situation where she has no idea, like we were maybe questioning in the beginning, because she knows that obviously she used to have a brother. But then as soon as Geraldine mentions Ultron, then she casts her out. So it's like she knows what happened, but she doesn't really want to talk about it fully. And so one more thing I wanted to say about Geraldine and that whole scene, hey, that rhymed. The relationship, it's very interesting how it changed so quickly, because she was the first to basically learn about Wanda's secret, both the pregnancy as well as the fact that she might be a witch, because she saw everything going on around her, and it was obviously something that you don't see every day. We see her be with Wanda throughout the whole process of delivery, and Wanda even says, I can't do this. Yes, you can. And I think that definitely had more than one meaning. She could be talking about, you can stop this, you can free these people, you can come back to reality, and you can deal with the loss of Vision. Her opening up that way to Geraldine is significant because Geraldine's the only person Wanda has done that to, with the exception of Vision. She was perhaps getting too close for comfort for Wanda, and maybe that's why eventually she decided to banish her. But I still don't know why the other people suspect Geraldine of something. That part I'm not 100% clear on yet. We know that there's been lots of talk about Mephisto and whether or not that's Agnes's husband. Agnes mentions something very interesting in this episode. She says that my husband looks better in the dark or something like that, or I prefer my husband in the dark. And that just kind of has a very ominous undertone almost, and definitely implies that he could be Mephisto. But if it's not her husband, Ralph, at first I was wondering if it could be the Doctor because he was kind of around her while she was pregnant and kind of following up her pregnancy. And we know that in the comics, Wanda conceived through magic, and then Mephisto ends up ultimately being responsible for the loss of her children. So that's kind of why I was thinking it might be the Doctor. But towards the end of the episode, I'm not so sure. We have a lot of color themes as well. We have seen a lot of red and yellow in the previous episodes. In this episode, another predominant color I noticed was blue. There can be multiple reasons for that. First of all, Wanda had boys. Baby boys are typically symbolized by the color blue, then girls pink. So that's one way of looking at it. And you had Geraldine wearing blue, you had Vision wearing blue, Wanda's outfit had blue in it as well. The car of the Doctor was blue. I'm kind of wondering as well if these colors are somehow related to the Infinity Stones at all. Blue represents the Space Stone. Yellow represents the Mind Stone. So now we have the Reality Stone, which is red, the Mind Stone, which is yellow, and the Space Stone, which is blue. That is kind of all related to what is happening and could very well be related to the whole premise of the series, which is that Wanda is using her mind to do all this and keep people in this reality and in this pocket of space in time. I'd be interested to see where they go with the color scheme going forward, and if they're maybe going to show green next, which is the Time Stone, so there could be potentially a connection there. Blue is also can be connected to the feeling of sorrow as well, and if what we're thinking could be really happening, guys, it's definitely a tragedy, so it could be related to that as well. The most significant part of the episode were those final few minutes. Oh my gosh, where we actually saw the sign Westview, and there were some symbols underneath the sign as well. We saw Geraldine physically be thrust out of this energy field. That basically confirms that Westview is a real town. We saw the helicopter as well, which is one of the clues that was seen in the episode. I do think that time is involved here. I think that she has locked off a real town and is controlling it in terms of mind, space, reality, and time. And I think that is why we're seeing each episode skip forward in time by like the decade. And that would also mean that the helicopter we see hasn't crashed yet, because she finds it in episode 2. And so if we're seeing it now in this episode, that might mean that it hasn't happened yet, and Wanda's reality is happening at a pace that defies time and the physics laws as pertaining to the real world. I know that's kind of confusing to think about, but that's kind of my thought, because they showed specifically the helicopter. I'd be interested in seeing a close-up of it to see if it actually is red and yellow, or if it just appeared that way in the episode 2 to kind of follow the specific color theme that they are going for. She is in control, and she seems to be the villain. That scene with her and Geraldine was the most frightening we have seen her as of yet in the series. We're finally getting to see a little bit of Scarlet Witch and less of Wanda in that moment. When you think about the fact that she gave birth is supposed to be a wonderful moment where you're bringing life into the world, and yet basically there was complete destruction around her. You had cars breaking down, you had light fixtures falling, and pictures spinning. It was all chaos when something good was happening in her life. And could that just be a reflection of what is really happening? Wanda is creating this space for her own well-being, her own mindset, so that she can enjoy her time with Vision, but yet it's basically chaos for everybody else. Anything good that happens to Wanda results in destruction for everybody else. And again, I think just the quick progression of her pregnancy shows how quickly her reality is going by in terms of time and how quickly it is changing. That's all I got for now, guys. Again, we're getting a little bit more answers now, but I still have a lot of questions. We're starting to feel that transition away from that sitcom style to the classic Avengers style that we're used to seeing. As I mentioned before, I thought that the sitcom style was so brilliant because it kind of allowed us to be in a little bit of a dream state with these characters where we kind of almost forget what we're really watching and we forget about the fact that something really bad is going on. This shift is now feeling all the more powerful, and by the end it will definitely be, I think, taking place present day, and we're going to find out what's really going on here. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you agree with what I'm saying? And is there anything else that you noticed that you thought was significant? Let me know. I love to keep the discussion going in the comments, so be sure to leave one. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I think it's going to be really, really good by the end. And I anticipate they're going to cross over somehow into one of the other Marvel shows, and things are going to come together. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see characters from other Marvel shows and movies show up by the end, like maybe in the finale. And until next time, guys, take care and see you in the next video.